Military planners from more than 30 countries are set to meet in London today and tomorrow. Their goal is to draw up detailed plans for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Jeff Paul is in London with more on the France and UK-led initiative. So what do we think? How's it going to go?
Yeah, Dana, well, officials here in the UK say the planning sessions will build on progress made last week. That is when UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron met among several other countries in Paris. Now, at the time, more than a dozen world leaders pledged they were willing to join an international coalition to safeguard shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. More than 30 nations and their military strategists are expected to attend the conference in London today. Over the next 2 days, they'll work to hash out detailed military plans for the strait once the fighting stops. The UK's Ministry of Defence says the aim is to ensure freedom of navigation in the strait and support a lasting ceasefire. And the clock is ticking, especially when it comes to the economy in Europe. The European Union Energy Commissioner says even in the best case scenario, the region will likely experience shortages in jet fuel and diesel, impacting both travel and trade.
If this goes on for many months or even years, we're looking at a totally new world order and probably very, very severe economic consequences that goes far beyond only the energy sector, of course.
Now, those attending the summit today are expected to examine their collective military capabilities, command and control arrangements, and how forces could operate in the region when needed. The UK's defense minister says he's confident over the next 2 days that real progress can be made. Dana?
All right, thank you so much, and great to see you there in London, where we will see you for a while. Thank you.
Back here in the U.S., the Justice Department announcing charges against the Southern Poverty Law Center, accusing the prominent civil rights group of secretly funding extremist groups that it claimed to be fighting. The indictment charges the center with 11 counts, including wire and bank fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says the alleged scheme was the total opposite of the group's mission.
The SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose. The SPLC was paying a member of the leadership group that planned the Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 that resulted in the death of one person and injured dozens more. This particular person being paid by the SPLC allegedly received approximately $270,000 over the course of 8 years.
It's a wild indictment, a whole lot to get into on this topic. For more on that, we are joined by Fox News legal editor Kerri Urbahn. Kerri, always great to see you.
Good to see you.
So let's dive into the nuts and bolts here. These are some of the groups that the feds allege that the SPLC was secretly and quietly funding over the years, including the KKK and other white nationalist and extremist groups, millions of dollars over an 8-year period. Now, the SPLC during this whole time was claiming to be fighting against these groups, but DOJ alleges they were secretly funneling money to them the entire time, not telling their donors about it. They were doing this via paid informants, then hiding the payments by lying to banks and setting up sham accounts. I know you got a lot of thoughts on this. The floor is yours.
Yeah, the lying to the banks part really stuck out to me, because if there's nothing to hide, then why are you doing that? Now, they may argue, oh, well, it's because we were doing this clandestine operation to make sure that we could really dismantle these groups. But Bill, we got to look at the facts here. So the 2017 Unite the Right rally is a great place to start. So the indictment alleges that they were funding or paying one of the leaders who organized that rally. That rally happens. We all remember it very well. Joe Biden ran on that rally, if you recall. But you know what happened in the weeks that followed that rally? SPLC received some huge donations. George and Amal Clooney gave them $1 million. Tim Cook and Apple gave them $1 million. So while they were paying one of the organizers of that rally, and then decrying the rally, they wwere benefiting by getting money and fundraising off of the rally that they were helping to fund. So if you think about that for a second, that's, I think, what shocks a lot of people. The other thing that struck me are the years that the indictment lays out. And I believe it's 2014, to 2023. But let's remember what happened in the couple of years before that. There was a would-be terrorist who said he was inspired by SPLC's so-called hate map, which put Family Research Council, which is a traditional conservative Christian values organization here in Washington, D.C., they put them on the map for defending those values. This guy looks them up, sees that SPLC has labeled them as a hate group, goes to their office and attempts to shoot up as many people as he can. He brought Chick-fil-A sandwiches with him, which he said he was going to smear in their faces. Thankfully, a security guard stopped him. He was shot, and he ultimately pled guilty to 3 counts, and one of those counts was terrorism. He pled guilty, Bill, in 2013. So what does SPLC do? Do they have some kind of come to Jesus moment and think, you know what, maybe this isn't good that we're targeting Christian conservative groups and we're manufacturing this hate? Maybe we should take a step back? No. Not only do they continue with that map, which put a lot of organizations in danger, they secretly start paying people who are at the heads of organizations like the Nazis, like this rally in Charlottesville, and that I would argue, and I think this is what Todd Blanche said, to basically exacerbate what was going on. And then they made money off of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the SPLC is now responding to all of this. They're not apologizing or admitting anything, but they did say they shut down their paid informant program. Here's a statement they put out ahead of that DOJ indictment saying, quote, "Taking on violent hate and extremist groups is amongst the most dangerous work there is. We believe it is also amongst the most important work we do. The actions by the DOJ will not shake our resolve to fight for justice and ensure the promise of the civil rights movement becomes a reality for all." Kerri, they are facing more than 10 federal counts, bank and wire fraud. How much hot water is this group in now?
I think they're in some serious hot water. I also think this is just the beginning. And look, SPLC did do great civil rights work in the 70s. They're basically responsible for dismantling the most violent branch of the Ku Klux Klan. But segregation ended in large part thanks to their work. The Ku Klux Klan was dismantled. That stuff stopped. So what happened was they had to figure out a way to justify their existence. And they did this by, I would say, manufacturing hate, which is really sad considering they were created to fight that hate. And when they said in that statement yesterday, Bill, and obviously they were trying to get ahead of the news that was coming, oh, this has to do with our use of paid spies, a practice that we stopped. The indictment alleges these paid spies were in use from 2014 to 2023. I mean, if you listen to that statement, you would think they were talking about infiltrating the Klan back in the 70s. That is not the case. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And
DOJ said yesterday, the Biden DOJ apparently stopped this investigation while they were in office as well. So this is going to be a wild case to watch as it plays out, and we will certainly keep tabs on it. Kerri Urbahn, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.